Well, I reached the top of the countdown. The number one event, this is pretty much a slam dunk with all our forecasters, is the Labor Day weekend snow and windstorm. Now a little bit of meteorology to start off with this. This is the surface map. A couple of things I want you to notice. There's the cold front that came through and brought the much colder air. It's sitting right down here with the low pressure center. It's over near about Farson. But what I really want you to notice is these lines right here. These are lines of equal pressure. Meteorologists call these isobars. And when you see a pack like this, very tight gradient, this is usually indicative of high winds just for the atmosphere trying to balance itself between the low pressure and the high pressure up here. And what happens there, you get very high winds, and those of you across the western and southern portions of the state, remember there was a lot of wind with this and also some damage. Now we'll go up in the atmosphere, jet stream level. There's a jet right over top of Wyoming. It's a good place for storms to form, and also helps force some of those winds down as well. So some very high winds around the area. How strong, you ask? 86 miles per hour. There are several gusts over 80 miles per hour at Rock Springs, 67 around Green River. In many areas across, especially Sublette County, Teton County, as well as Sweetwater County, seeing gusts over 50 miles per hour. Many other portions of the area seeing wind gusts to 40 to 50 after the front went through. And this is the snowfall that fell with it after the front went through. Highest amounts were in the mountains. This snowfall here was very dependent on elevation. You're low in elevation, you really didn't see that much, maybe a couple of inches. But in the higher elevation, 17, this is Casper Mountain. Lander did pretty well out of this, about 6 to 10 more as he headed towards Sinks Canyon up toward the Wind Rivers. 11 inches to the near Batitsi. This is up in the Bighorns, about 11 there. Around Rock Springs, generally about 4 to 7 inches. Now the problem is a lot of this fell on trees that still had full foliage on. This is that heavy wet snow, not that champagne powder we get in the winter. This is the heart attack snow. Very heavy, sits in the trees, breaks a lot of limbs, and even brings whole trees down. It causes a lot of problems falling on roads, houses, and power lines. And the whiplash there, like that, basically, it was very, very hot the weekend before that. This was on the Saturday before the storm came in. Look at some of these high temperatures here. All these places rising into the 90s, even 100 degrees at Worland. And the ones you see in purple, those were all-time record highs for the month of September. So I remember going out to launch a weather balloon in the heat of the day that day. There's no air conditioning in the shelter, and it was hot in there. So slap to the face when you take a look at some of these. These are the record cold temperatures. You can see low temperatures Tuesday morning, 20s and 30s, so some places seeing a 70-degree change in just a couple of days. Now, it's Wyoming, it happens quite a bit, but coming out of summer and going into this, it didn't feel very good. It was very uncomfortable since you're not used to it. So to sum it up, earliest measurable snow for Casper, that was the big news there. Also second earliest for Riverton as well as Lander. Widespread tree damage also occurred from the strong to high winds, also heavy wet snow falling on the trees. Worst hit areas, Teton, Sublette, Sweetwater counties, also Lander getting hit pretty hard from that. And also all of Green River, much of Rock Springs, as well as Lander and Casper were without power for a time during the height of the storm. Well, thank you for joining us for the countdown. You want to see some pictures as well as video from the storm, we'll have that after this right now. Be safe, everybody, and Happy New Year.